We left Bromingstead alone for like 2 minutes. Is it too late? Is the city gone again? More orc tracks in this area? Yep. I don't know how to get to another town. Like, if this is the amount of greenskin invasions going on right now. They're on high ground, annoyingly. It's nice. Need to find the camp. I've cleared like 4 camps in this area. I lost one of the cities while I was clearing the camps around it. Like, the archers. It's just a change of strategy. I'm trying to do something differently. Orc Young involved in this too. Alright, see how this next round goes. Yeah, I don't know if I play with permanent destruction on again or not. But I've just never had it be an issue whatsoever. And losing that one town to the undead was kind of cool. Like, it had this undead, like, fort that spawned and we had to go wipe it out. And it kind of... It felt like the dead versus the living kind of thing going on, which is neat. But, every time I turn around, another town dropping to greenskins is not quite as interesting. I would actually like some towns on the map so I can, you know, resupply and stuff like that. It's a good arrow. $90, $72, $64. Okay. Why was he 72 versus Aqua and 90? Oh, 68. 68. Never mind. I was going to say, why are those numbers so disparate? But they weren't. Alright, apparently your shield wall is too strong, Goblin. We'll taunt you out of it. Still engaging. It's interesting. Nice. Okay. I stopped playing Darkest Dungeon. Not like I'm done forever with the game, but at the moment, yep. Into 20 arrows. Bit of a problem. Any more tracks in this area? No. Escort caravan to Mullenheim in the southeast. Oh, it's oh, Mullenheim's not the Citadel town. Fuck. Okay. Southeast, some ways in the hills. Okay, might want to clear that, whatever that is. Okay. Talk a little bit about the mega tanks. Sure. Why are they great? Because they take a character who has bad stats, but not all bad stats. A character with low attack skill. So like Go Josh is a really good example of this, right? Triple melee defense scars, decent stamina, decent HP, decent pretty much all stats except melee skill. What do you do with this character? You either throw it away or you look for something else to do with it. What roles can a character with no attack skill have? Well, there's one offensive ability that impacts the game that I've found, well, two, that don't require attack skills. And the first is Rally, and the second is Taunt. So what do you do with a mega tank? This is the guy who rotates in when there's one guy who gets surrounded by fucking 4 orcs and one of them is an Orc Warlord, and he gets hit and he suddenly is at half health. Well, you run the mega tank in there, you swap him out, and he stands there and takes all the damage. His goal is literally just to be this disgustingly large meat shield that can take hits, doesn't worry about it, can rotate in and save other people, and then has Taunt. Taunt's really nice when you're using things like one-handed, in the early game in particular, when I'm using builds like this, which is the DPS tank on the build sheet, which is a character with medium accuracy, because this is high accuracy for the early game, but not so high accuracy in the late game, who uses things like quick hands, so it has a primary weapon with a shield, and then swaps to a two-handed weapon to do damage when it's on a target that you need to kill. It's really, really nice if that person doesn't get counterattacked while their shield is down. So Taunt will stop their shield wall, so they won't shield wall while they're taunted. Taunt will control who's attacking you. Rotating into shitty situations is what mega tanks are good for anyways, because they're extremely durable, and they're really good for using in reserve. A lot of times when you're taking a fight, you're fine, right? You got your 6 or 7 two-handers in the front line, they're in a big arc, they're totally fine, and then something unlucky happens. You know, you get hit on a couple 5%ers or something, right? And when that happens, that character needs to be swapped out so you can have someone with some more health, and the megas are just really good at doing that. So I use them for Rally versus Geist. I use them for babysitting new recruits. I use them for taunting leaders so I can take the leader's stuff without the leader doing huge amounts of damage to the rest of my troops. I use them for controlling orcs. I use them for plugging holes. They're just kind of a strong all-around problem-solving character. It's just not a damage-dealing character. You can't have too many of them, I don't think. In the Monolith fights, I'm going to throw them on the corner. So when you come in, the Monolith is going to spawn north and east, and we're going to spawn southwest compared to that. And I'm going to use one of the megas to sit in the corner with just like 100 defense or whatever the fuck they have. I mean, they have absurd amounts of defense right now. If I look at think it's First Army is the highest defense. If I look at First Army with one of the shields here, with a 28 melee defense, he's at 77 melee defense. With enough resolve, he's not going to break. He's at 80 resolve, in part because of Fortified Mind. And he's got 85 HP. And I'll just sit there and spam shield wall as they waste a million shots on me, as I have time to do other things. So that's the plan. That's the plan anyways. Lets me be more aggressive with my other troops. That's a lot of what they let me do. Alright, where are we? We are trying to get to Hagermoos. Killing every goblin we can find along the way. And we're gonna dismiss cubics. Alright, no goblin tracks around here. Yes, there are. There's fucking more raiders. Raiders in the swamp. Oh goodness, this will be fun. Plethora of goblin wolf riders. Why am I bringing archers to this? I didn't look at it. I assumed it was a mixed group. I'll talk about this more when I do the videos, but I really think a lot of the builds in Battle Brothers are about taking advantage of the troops that you get rather than hoping for the troops that you want. Yeah, eventually you'll get enough to have all these perfect two-hander builds, and that's great. And those are probably what you're going to end up using. Oh man, do I want them on the high? I don't. Yeah. Archers are nice because of the swamp. It's nice not to have the wolf riders be on top of me in round 1. I can't move my two-handers around properly in swamps because it takes 4 AP to move around in a swamp tile. Are they still coming or are they done? Oh, they're still coming. If I had to choose a mega tank or a good two-hander, what would I choose? I think early game there's so much utility out of them, right? They're what lets me farm gear off leaders. They're what let me take on fights that'd be a little bit harder. It's what lets me keep archers alive without footwork despite flanking enemies. I don't know, man. The stats are rarer on a two-hander. So if you're just asking me, well, what stats would you choose? I would choose the two-hander stats because they're rare to get a hold of. But there's a lot of utility behind them. I like having 2 to 3 of them in my build. I would probably keep them in my roster. I suppose like ultra late game, like day like 700 or something, you probably don't need them. You just build better and better two-handers, and eventually they do everything except taunt, and then you use, I don't know what you'd use your archers for then. But it's just, they fulfill a different role that isn't pure DPS, which is nice. I'm gonna try to kill some stuff. Miss? What? Aqua, you scrubby piece of shit. He's not a duelist anymore. I just switched to a duelist build. Like, it worked okay there, but it's not the point. Okay. I mean, the game definitely pushes you towards pure offense the later in the game you go, for sure. But especially in the early game, they're so incredibly valuable. I mean, what do you do when you have an enemy leader, right? This is early in the game. You have maybe like 150 gear, maybe, and you're looking to farm out. You want to jump a hedge knight. You want his gear, and he's a fucking hedge knight, and he's got some amazing like armor you want, and he's got a two-handed weapon. The fight's hard enough, you can't just like focus him early. If you focus him, you're gonna kill his armor, and you can't ignore him. He's got a fucking two-hander. If you just let him roam around, he's gonna kill people. It's like, in a situation like that, you can't put one of your regular guys in front of him. He's just going to kill that regular guy, or he's going to break that guy's armor in like 2 seconds. You're going to have nothing. And I mean, for me, it's like, oh, what do I do then? I put in a troop. He's not disposable, but he's not super valuable with his stat roll, right? He's not so rare, it's never going to happen. He's very likely to survive because he's got a million fucking melee defense and decent health at that stage. And he's got taunt, so even if the guy gets in some weird position that kind of screws me, we can still control his actions. With two-handers, a little bit harder because you can AoE. But you just end up with one of those positions where it's catty-cornered to each other, where it's, let's say this was the leader, this would be the mega, and they just stand like this, and you keep the rest of your guys well away from it, and he just tanks hits for a couple rounds until everything else shows up. No, I understand, but my point is, I wanted an answer to, I want their gear, and no one else can stand in front of them. What are we gonna do? And then the rest of the build is about making them useful when I can, which is like making them useful in ghost fights or making them useful in the rest of it. So, all right, that's all of them dead. Oh, great loot, guys! Thanks for that. Good fight. All right. Jesus, we're almost to day 400. It's hilarious. Really expensive tools. Food's pretty good price though. I don't mind food. 5 and 6 days. I'm not so desperate on tools that I have to do that. So they're not buying for shit. Alright, let's get rid of cubics. I don't know what we're rolling on right now, but we'll roll on some guys. We're rolling this farmhand here. turn out very well. Throw that guy back in. Missed the transition. Wait. Can I leave it this long? I mean, I assume I can. I just killed everything in it. But look. Runes, 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 runes. This is super dangerous, right? Holy shit, more goblin tracks. They're running away. They're buying at 15, not great. Really far away. Keep looking, expecting to look up and see it gone. Do they have to kill the outside ones? Is that a mercenary company? Yes. And it's a mercenary company with these guys, right? I already lost Summer's Home. I don't really care about these guys. Who are they hired out of? Hired by House Coltonborn. Oh, that's the green guys who I do care about. There's only 3 of their shit. But they have they have 2 of my 3 remaining citadels. So this is gonna piss off the faction? What city? It's not based at a city. It says it's hired by House Coltonborn, which is an entire house, right? What city? Hit control to attack that. I really want this fucking ambition gone. Alright. What would I bring to fight these guys? What do they just have? They have mercenaries, we don't know what they have, and a few war dogs. It's gonna be an easy fight, right? So far, I haven't needed Indomitable or Berserk on these guys right yet. Although Indomitable has some nice oh shit moment stuff where you have some AP left and you're in a rough situation. Don't need, well, I wouldn't mind a Mega or 2 for this, but I want him on the front line. Bring Kyrgyzstan. Why am I using an Orc Cleaver on him? Which 3 crises I like the most? I'm actually enjoyed. I enjoy the 2 that aren't the nobles the most right now. The noble fights are tedious because there's too many NPCs in there, like allied NPCs that just take forever to move through their list. Let's throw first army in here. Put one of the 2-handers in the back. These shields out of their inventory. I'm not bringing a legendary shield to this fight because I don't know how many hatchets they're gonna have. Let's bring our duelists. We aren't really duelists anymore. Okay. Let's try this. Duelist search get removed? Yes.